Isn't my new intro so cool? It's really not. I only spent like 30-ish minutes on it loudly crying face. Plus, those dinging sound effects might be my downfall. I turned the volume down on them by 75% by the way, and they're still so loud. But I really wanted an intro, and I had an idea like that for my intro for a while now, so I thought why not? I'm not the best when it comes to creativity, so it might seem a little boring or cringy, but I like it. You'll see my outro soon, but it's not really cool at all. Just the basic format or any other YouTuber you'd see, I guess? Anyways, make sure to watch part 1 of this first, which if I can figure it out I'll put it in that little corner icon thing, if I'm allowed by YouTube. Please YouTube, I'm begging you. I'm aiming to finish this series in the next week or two, and then hopefully get out my first requested video. I was so determined going into it, but now I'm second guessing myself if it's good enough for them. Anyways, enjoy the video. Maki's eyes grazed over Matsun's messages over and over again, reading them like they were in his imagination, or, if he keeps reading over them enough, the words will twist or change into something else. I love you, sunshine. Sunshine? Matsun loves him, and even called him his sunshine? But that doesn't make sense. He has a girlfriend. Why would he love Maki? Why would he call him his sunshine? Why did Matsun have to make everything so extremely complicated? But it was too late. The tears he thought he had run out of last night swelled in his eyes, his vision hazing over as the messages turned into blurry lines. Matsun has a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend. So why was he messing with his feelings like that? Why send a message such as that one? He could have just left it off with him asking if Maki was okay. He should have just left it there. But he didn't. He took that extra step, that extra mile, and it crushed Maki's soul harder than before. His heart wished that message was meant in the way he dreamed. Romantically, it was what he had always hoped for from his first year of high school. Even knowing that Matsun was as straight as a pencil, Maki knew he didn't stand a chance. It was just something in him that gave him hope. Something in Matsun's eyes screamed how much he loved him. The way they touch, talk, check up and cry to each other when they need it. Maki felt something there. He knew it was there. And that's why he had hope. That's why all of these years he relentlessly tried over and over again to gain Matsun's favor. It turned out to be in vain in the end. During the time of him being lost in his thoughts, his thumb accidentally pressed the message notification. His and Matsun's chat coming into view through his tear-stained eyes. Maki visibly shook, trying to quickly swipe out of the chat before it fully loaded. However, it was too late. Shit. A few seconds after he had entered the chat, Matsun's speech bubble immediately popped up. It continued for what felt like hours, before stopping, then continuing again, then stopping. Maki could hear his heart pounding in his chest, adrenaline running through his veins. He could feel it run down to the tips of his fingers all the way down to his toes. He wasn't ready yet. He hadn't completely finished figuring out how he felt yet. Why did this have to happen? Why now? Big Maki and him private messages. 4:55 p.m. Big Maki is online. Him is online. Hey, Maki, I've heard a little bit of what happened from Oikawa, so just hear me out, okay? I want to tell you my side of things before you go overthinking and blaming yourself like you always have. I promise. It's me, not you. Maki's eyes fluttered for a second, holding in his breath as he took in the messages. He really didn't want to talk to Matsun right now. Not now. Not later. He just wanted to be alone, to deal with his thoughts by himself. So why was Matsun so desperate to hear what he had to say? Why can't he just take the hint that Maki doesn't want to talk to anyone right now? He's been ignoring everyone well, except Mad Dog. But it's not his fault. It was a once-in-a-lifetime thing of the famous Mad Dog spamming his DMs. Of course he was going to be a little curious about what he had to say. Well, not that he got a reply after, because apparently Kageyama was just a decoy to see who Maki was ignoring, and who he wasn't. Although, he would never blame Kageyama for it. Maki knows someone had to beg him to cave in like that, and spam him too at that, which would most definitely be Iwazumi. Plus, he could barely handle his own emotions, so Kageyama was most likely just confused and overwhelmed. Despite what everyone says and how Maki acts towards Mad Dog, he really does find comfort in him. In a way, he can relate to Kageyama, for always rushing headfirst without thinking. and jumping to conclusions easily when something doesn't go the way they planned. The feeling of being frustrated and stressed when let down, when a certain situation didn't meet the expectations they'd hoped. That's why Maki had the hardest time getting mad at Kyoto. No matter how much the bumblebee buzzcut pissed him off, all he felt was fondness for the wing spiker. However, it seems all that fondness keeps getting him into some sticky situations. If you don't reply, I'll call. Better yet, I'm OMW. When Maki's phone buzzed in his hand, he shook himself out of his thoughts. Looking down at the chat box, he froze for a moment, his face paling. Matson's on his way, as in walking to him, as in towards his house he was currently located? No. I don't want you here, RN. Maki typed quickly, his fingers typing before his brain realized what he was saying before he hit send. After a few long moments, Matson's chat bubble had appeared once again like he had never left. I'm sorry, Hiro, but we need to talk about this before it gets too out of hand. Maki gulped loudly, his thumb lightly pressing on the nickname that Matson had given them when they became close. The name his heart fluttered for when it came out of Matson's lips. But now he just felt frustrated looking at that nickname, his heart stinging in his chest. Don't call me that. And whose fault would that be? I'm sorry. Do you think saying sorry will fix anything? It's not a magic word that will make everything between us better again. That's the thing. I don't understand what's made you so upset. That's why I want to talk to you. No. Why we need to talk. It hurts me so much seeing you upset. Hiro, how's your perfect girlfriend then? My girlfriend? Why are you bringing her up? Maki, this is between us. This has nothing to do with her, okay? I don't think I remember asking. I'll be over in 5. Don't run or I swear on everything holy I will track you down. Him is offline. Aha. Shri, Big Maki is offline. Maki knew he was being petty, and even cringed at himself when he read their messages over and over again. But his heart was too sour to care, although there was a pang of regret that hit him as he tried to shake it off. He just wanted Matson to feel his own frustrations, how he cried for hours on end just because of this new girl that had come into his life. If anything, he knew they were such a perfect couple, and they looked happy, but the resentment building in his chest because of their relationship was the reason why he wanted to push Maki away, to shove himself in a deep corner away from him till he could get over it. Maki didn't want to hurt anyone, but this creeping cold that was eating him from the inside out was unrelenting. No matter how hard he tried to cheer himself up, waves of disappointment and pent-up frustrations kept resurfacing. No matter how hard he tried to push down the growing knot in his throat, it wouldn't leave him alone. Then it hit him once again. You're just a rebound. Maki knew he was about to make a childish decision, one that he would soon most likely come to regret, but his body was begging him to just leave. Even though the other told him to stay, he just couldn't. So, as quick as the thought had come into his mind, he jumped up from his bed and headed towards the closet. Maki's fingers quickly looped around his closet door handle, shoving it open as he pulled out his school bag that had been tightly shoved in a corner. With a sigh, he dumped all of his school supplies onto his desk, deciding to only packing enough clothes for 2 nights. He didn't want to be gone for long, just enough time to regain himself and clear his thoughts. Maki's head just wasn't in the right mindset at the moment. He feared if he talked to Matson now, he'd say even more words he would regret as fast as they would have come out. However, since Matson wasn't willing to give him that space, he was just going to have to get it himself. I can't believe I'm running away from my own house at my age, although I guess it's better than ruining our relationship more than I already have. But in the end, where would he stay? Maki doesn't have many friends. Not that he couldn't get them if he wanted to, but he just sucked at communicating and maintaining relationships. Plus, he solely focused his entire life dedicated to Matson to try and win him over, which now he regrets royally. I knew I should have listened to Oikawa. He's been in my shoes before. Why did I shrug off his advice? However, what's done is done. He could ask if he was able to go over to Atsumu's, or maybe even the little giant Hinata Shoyo's, although both of those options sound like literal hell. The two of them are hell spawns that probably wouldn't leave him alone for even a second. Plus, He would rather not hear Atsumu swooning over his germophobic boyfriend, and Hinata arguing with his hot-headed setter. Moreover, Maki had no one else he was semi-close to. He couldn't just randomly message someone he had only talked to a couple of times to ask them to stay over. Maki knew that would just be an uncomfortable encounter for the both of them. So, why not just go to Oikawa's? I don't really want to talk to him, but maybe clearing up the air between us will help me in the long run. So he did just that. Maki grabbed his bag now filled with everything he needed and quickly left a note for his mom that he was staying over at a friend's house. He stomped on his shoes, grabbing his house keys before hastily heading out of the house and locking his door behind him. Maki looked back and forth, not seeing any sort of sign from the raven hair as he quickly bolted down his street towards Oikawa's house. Maki could see his hands visibly shaking as he knocked on the door to his captain's house. His nerves were eating him alive, and he could feel the subtle waves of nausea hitting him from not eating the whole day as he waited, and waited and waited, until finally, the door opened with a click, revealing an exhausted and frustrated Iwazumi. The smaller glared at him at first, a seemingly long line of curses ready to leave his lips before he stopped, his eyes widening. All Maki could do was chuckle softly, rubbing the back of his head with his hand to try and hide the fact he was shaking. "Hello, Iwazumi. How are you doing on this fine evening?" Maki got a glare in return, the shorter crossing his arms over his chest. "Fine. Are you okay? You were the last person I was expecting to show up at Oikawa's doorstep." "Yeah, sorry, I just want to talk to him, I'll guess." Maki hesitated under the shorter's stare, his eyes awkwardly looking everywhere but Iwazumi. He didn't make the wrong choice, right? Did Iwazumi hate him for doing what he did? Does Oikawa not want to see him anymore? Did he mess up worse than? "Come in. I'm still upset you ignored all of our messages and calls, but it's not my place to keep you from talking to him." "Yes," Hanamaki mumbled, a short sigh of relief escaping his lips as he nodded towards Iwazumi in a short bow and walked into the all-too-familiar house. Except this time it was dark and tense, extremely different from the light-hearted and happy mood the house had always been filled with the times he'd come before. However, he knew he was the one who caused this, so who was he to complain? "So where is he?" Maki questioned, his posture still tense as he tried to look around the house for a particular brown-haired captain, but couldn't spot him. "He's upstairs in his room drowning in tears." "Drowning?" "Yes, drowning. I don't know the full story, only something about you and Oikawa having a fight. He thought he'd lost you forever because of something he did or whatever." "Oh." Maki's expression softened, another pang of guilt eating him at his core as he looked at the bedroom door a flight of stairs away. However, Maki knew there was only one way to solve this, because it definitely wasn't about to fix itself. With a deep breath, he nodded, making his way up the stairs before pausing at the bedroom door. His eyes turned to meet Iwazumi's, who just nodded towards him and gestured towards the door with his eyes. With a loud gulp, he opened the door slowly, his head poking through the semi-dark room that was filled with soft sniffles and sobs. He cringed inwardly, his body instinctively moving to leave the room, but Iwazumi kept him in place, the shorter practically shoving him into the room as he yelled, "What the fuck, Maki?" Maki froze at the voice, his heart pounding in his chest once again as his eyes slowly met the setter's. Maki first noticed the pain in Oikawa's tear-filled and red-rimmed eyes that was obvious even without proper lighting. He could feel his own eyes stinging at the sight, his hand moving to clutch his chest like it would ease the throbbing. Besides, he probably didn't look any better than Oikawa. Then, he noticed how disheveled he looked, how Oikawa looked like he lost someone extremely important to him, and didn't know how to cope with it. He looked lost, lonely. Oikawa wasn't the same. Maki was snapped out of his thoughts from another sob that had ripped out of Oikawa's throat, tears rolling down the captain's face once again before he scrambled off the bed and jumped into Maki's arms. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't want to hurt you." Maki was dumbfounded at first, his mouth opening and closing as he tried to find his words but couldn't. All he could do was wrap his arms tightly around Oikawa's, burying his face in his shoulder to hide the tears threatening to spill from his eyes. Maki completely forgot the anger and frustration he felt towards the brunette, his hands gripping the soft fabric of Oikawa's shirt to steady himself. God, did Maki miss him? It had only been a day, but it was hard to survive even an hour without the other pestering him. It's fine, Oikawa, really, it's fine. I was just being petty. No, Oikawa interrupted, earning an audible gulp from Maki. It's not fine. I'm supposed to be your best friend. I shouldn't be keeping stuff like this from you. Oikawa let out a soft sob, holding onto the back of Maki's shirt like it was his only lifeline. I couldn't see you get hurt. I knew I should have told you, Maki. Oikawa sobbed out, reluctantly leaving Maki's embrace to hold him by the shoulders. Oikawa was looking deep into his eyes, the emotions he felt spilling out with each passing second. I'm so awful. I thought if you didn't know, then you wouldn't be heartbroken. But I was too dumb. Fuck. I was such an idiot. Oikawa groaned, tears staining his cheeks as Maki tried his best to wipe them away. It was only in vain, although, because newfound tears quickly wet the space he'd just dried. Maki sighed, pulling Oikawa back into his embrace as he wrapped his arms around his shoulders soothingly, rocking them back and forth. It's okay, Oikawa, really. I understand that what you did was for my benefit, and I'm so glad that you were thinking about my feelings. But, I'm not done. Hanamaki interrupted, causing Oikawa to hesitate before nuzzling his face into Maki's neck. We put you in a tough spot, Oikawa, especially me. I understand you must have been having a hard time choosing what's right for me. When I yelled at you, I wasn't thinking. I was just upset. I was really fucking angry. Maki could feel Oikawa tense up at that. He immediately brought his hand up to Oikawa's head, running his fingers through the brunette's soft, silky hair, trying to smooth out the strands sticking out. But that doesn't justify the right for me to yell at you, especially putting the blame on you. You're genuinely one of the most important people in my life, Oikawa. I wouldn't leave you over something silly like this. If anything, you should be mad at me for what I did. It's so funny to me that you're not. Of course I'm not. Oikawa spoke, his voice muffled in the crook of Maki's neck. I could never be mad at you, Maki. No matter what, I love you way too much. Maki smiled at that, resting his cheek on Oikawa's shoulder as he whispered back, I love you too, Oikawa. Bonus scene. Maki, Oikawa, and Iwazumi were all on Oikawa's bed playing a heated game of Uno. Although now it was Maki's turn, his lips raised as he glanced towards Iwazumi. He lifted his cards, dramatically picking one out of his stack before wiping his fake tears with it and placing it on the top of the deck. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Bahaha. How many of those do you have? Oh, wayy, too many. What can I say? I'm the plus card magnet. Ah, you brat. Maki laughed hard at Iwazumi's spout of anger, his +6 card looming on the top of the deck. He saw the way the smaller shot daggers at him, Maki's only response being to stick his tongue out at the other. Ah, don't be a sore loser, Iwa-chan. Exactly. Don't be a salwasser, Iwazumi. Maki grinned, using the best baby voice he could muster to grind Iwazumi's gears, which, in the end, seemed to work. First they were playing Uno, and now they were having a wrestling match on top of Oikawa's bed. Iwazumi was winning, of course, because who could win against those biceps? Oh, and Iwa has taken the lead, locking Maki in a headlock. Wait, this doesn't seem like wrestling anymore. Do they do headlocks in wrestling? Oikawa furrowed his brow, tapping his chin like he was deep in thought. Maki on the other hand was looking at him with pleading eyes, his hands gripping Iwazumi's strong arms to try and break free from the smaller's grip. Oik. Cough. Awa, help me you bitch. Maki coughed a couple of times, flailing his legs around as if it would do anything. This caused Oikawa to laugh, patting one of Maki's legs. Nah, this is revenge for getting mad at me. I thought you said you weren't. Cough. Mad, did I? Never believe Oikawa. Maki, tisk, when will you learn? Oikawa then stuck his tongue out, raising his hand into his signature pose. Maki just accepted his fate, his face shifting from a painful one to one full of glee. Laughter bubbled from his chest as he couldn't hold it in, the sound forming before he could even register it. The other two were close behind him, all three of them laughing together. Even though Maki felt like a big part of him was missing, he was happy. He was so happy. God, how he missed this. Whoa, you've made it to my outro. So, how was the video? I know I cut it off very abruptly after Maki and Oikawa had just made up, but let that burning desire of wanting more let you come back to my channel. Eyes. Moreover, I do feel like my writing has improved in a way, if that makes sense. Like even with school and everything else going on, I'm describing things more and trying to expand my vocabulary, which I feel like is turning out pretty good, even though some sentences seemed awkward. But, as long as I keep writing, the better it'll get, and I have no plans of quitting this channel anytime soon unless the gods strike me down loudly crying face. Anyways, I'll stop ranting now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and consider leaving a like. Bye bye my lovely devotees, and I hope to see you in the next one.